Welcome in to another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. Here on a Thursday, we are live from Farmhouse Cafe here in beautiful Huntsville, Texas. I'm your host, Rob Hipp, here on Good Morning Huntsville, alongside and it is the only, one and only, Garrick Long. Garrick, good to have you. I'm going to do a little bio here in a minute, but how have you been? But it's good to see you. You're looking great in Bearcat Orange, man.
Listen, I love my Bearcat Orange, and I am so thankful that I get to wear Bearcat Orange to work every single day.
You went to Sam Houston.
I did. I'm an alum.
I just called games there, so I guess I was like, I don't want to say a poser, but I was never like, I need
You're honorary, though.
I need honorary. Okay, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to go there, though. Like, take one class so I can say that I went to Sam Houston, right?
You know what? There's the University 1101 that you can take and learn everything to be an excellent Bearcat.
I love that. That could be a new class taught by Garrick Long.
No, that is definitely not a class taught by Garrick Long.
Well, I got to get started this morning. First of all, we're here at Farmhouse. By the way, we encourage you this morning, you're a business owner, maybe you just want to check out things in the community, come out to Farmhouse Cafe. You don't have to be a member of the chamber. There is a very minimal fee, though, to partake in the small business breakfast that takes place here once a month. And, man, it's good to be back. I haven't been here in 10 months or so. Always enjoy these events and appreciate Ray Hernandez and the chamber staff for allowing us to be here this morning. And, Garrick, you're the chair. You set all this up. You put up the sound system and everything else. And, man, you got a lot on your plate.
I definitely do, but also this is my favorite breakfast of the month. You know, Farmhouse isn't normally open for breakfast, and we're lucky enough to get to enjoy their breakfast menu, their catering breakfast menu. I'm all for it, man.
Well, got to tell you this morning, the show is all about encouragement. We're also all about the great things happening here in Huntsville. We'll talk to Garrick here in a little bit more about HLI Class 41, the Huntsville Leadership Institute, and all the great work that they've been doing. We've already put out an article about the new stage they built at Rather Park, and I'll let Garrick dig in a little bit more about that and how that project went. But before we get started, I wanted to give Garrick a little bio. You know, when I first came to Huntsville and I was broadcasting for Sam Houston State and really enjoyed that privilege for many years. And I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun, Garrick, because you were my producer back at the radio station. And I always said one day, and Micah Bendy, if you're listening, he's a friend in Fargo. Micah, if you're listening, you're just going to have to ignore this. Maybe you can still produce basketball because Micah and I love basketball. But if I ever get a gig in the NFL, Garrick, I want you to be my producer, man.
Listen, I am all for it. That was a job that I did just for fun. Like, I enjoy the aspect and the operations behind it, and it was a thrill. And I did just part-time for fun.
And you haven't done it in a long time. We need to find a way to get you, like, back on somewhere.
I tried getting back in, and love everybody at KSAM. It wasn't going to work with my schedule, I had going on. So I was just like, you know what, guys, I appreciate you allowing me to come back, but it wasn't going to work. You know,
it's cool. You said before we went on this morning that you're like, man, I'd love to be part of a morning show or something. The great news about this show, because you're like me, man, I really don't like to get up really early in the morning. What's cool about this show is I could actually have you help produce. You could actually wake up in the morning and just do this from your home, and then I could still pull you in on the video once in a while. Be like, hey, good morning, Garrick. And you could produce things behind the scene anywhere in the world.
You know what? I would love to do it from my office on campus because behind me I have a Sam Houston flag over on this side, and then I have a Sammy over on this side, like a poster board Sammy. I love the background that I've created in my office. I'll do it from there.
We may have to talk about this. So we do have sponsors that are coming on the show, and we appreciate that are going to be my co-host. Like Monday morning we'll have a co-host, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. But that doesn't mean I can't have a producer that's there and bring you on once in a while. So we'll figure something out, man.
No problem.
Well, Garrick, you've been involved. You've been active in this community for such a long time. 2 beautiful daughters that are continuing just to grow up. Man, it's been exciting seeing your kiddos.
They're so big now.
What have you been up to? What's the world been like for you, man, these past years since I've been gone?
So I was lucky enough to get a job with the university, finally. It's one of the hardest places to get employment with just because there are limited opportunities there. But I am now the general manager of the university bookstore there at campus. So I'm running the bookstore itself. We have an offsite warehouse. But most importantly, Sam Houston has a partnership with Barnes & Noble to where they are providing all the textbooks at a low rate, flat cost. So I'm probably saying that backwards. Flat cost, low rate.
Low rate, flat cost. It kind of makes it. It goes either way. It's one of those that goes either way.
Correct. So in this case, how it works is that depending on how many credit hours you're taking is how much your textbooks cost, and they are all included. So no matter – people are used to paying $1,000 for textbooks. In this case, they're only paying $23.75 per credit hour.
That's not bad.
Dude,
that's a good deal.
If you do the math on it, Here, I'll do it quickly.
So are they still doing, while you're doing that, are
Yeah.
they still doing, and you're going to have to bring me up to speed, because a lot of times, when I was up at NDSU, I hung out at the bookstore because I got to know some folks over there, and we actually did some radio shows from the bookstore area. But it was like they had digital coupon, like you buy these digital certificates, and that was your textbook.
Yes.
I mean, are you guys doing that also?
Yes.
Is there still hardcover books, or is it all digital now?
Well, it could be either or.
Okay.
It's dependent on the professor because they still have their academic freedom. We do encourage the digital, but what's really cool is that when you are in the Bearcat bundle, which is what our program is, if it's digital, it's automatically loaded into Blackboard, which is the digital LMS. It's the system that the professors and the students can access to homework, books, things like that. It's already automatically loaded in there, so you don't have to go pick anything up. You don't have to get a hard copy, scratch it off, make sure you enter the numbers correctly, so it's automatically loaded. So say, for example, for 15 credit hours, your complete all of your textbooks would only cost you $356.
That's not bad, man. Really,
Right.
because you think about the thousands that people or students would spend back in the day on textbooks. A really good deal.
No, absolutely. And Sam Houston was the first school in Texas to adopt this program, and that has led to Lamar University doing it, the Alamo colleges down in San Antonio do it, and now starting this next fall, Blinn and A&M are doing it because Sam Houston did it and was successful with it.
A lot of great things. Talking to Garrick Long this morning here, also on the board of directors with the Chamber of Commerce. Got to ask you that question. Laura Green, I believe, will be joining us here before too long, going over some events that are happening with the Chamber. But, man, you've been involved. The Chamber, a great resource. I always say there's one thing that you absolutely have. Well, I say there's two things. The first thing that I always say, when you move into a community and you want to get a business started, I've always said the first thing that you have to do is join your local Chamber
Correct.
of Commerce. It is the most valuable resource in any community, in my opinion, because I've experienced it firsthand with several business opportunities that I had a chance to be a part of and to start. And that chamber connection, not only will you get to network with great people, but you're going to learn more resources. You're going to learn about how to really grow your business. You're going to learn how to promote your business. But here's the thing, and you know this as good as anyone, Garrick. If you don't show up, it's not going to benefit. You can't just pay a fee and say, well, I'm listed on their website, nobody's calling. It doesn't work that way. You've got to get out there and be shown.
You have to engage. So before this, I was an independent contractor, and for those 2 years, I was doing anything and everything the Chamber offered to its members, and I participated in. So the small business breakfasts, the after-hours events, I was there. I was meeting people. I was networking, and that's how I was able to gain business. For example, Greg Smith with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Homes. I had been coming to the business breakfasts for 8 months, and he finally approached me and was like, hey, will you come check out my roof? And it wasn't his house. It was for his business.
And it's because of your connection with the Chamber.
Yeah, and it's not because I was forcing something down someone's throat. It's not because I was begging for business. It's just he got to know me, I got to know him, and he felt comfortable enough to be like, hey, come check out my roof. And then I took care of his roof here in Huntsville. I took care of his roof in Willis. So when you drive by and the roofs are beautiful, you're welcome. But it was those opportunities that the chamber gave me that I would not have been able to do without. So.
Yeah, well, it's a great opportunity, again, just to come out and network and get to know people and really just be part of a special community. And when I first came here, that was one of the things that I told my previous general manager. Said, hey, man, we want to be active. I want to be in the Chamber. I want to make sure that we're out there. And it's been an incredible opportunity. And then, to step away for 10 months to close to a year and then to come back and just those friendships still be there.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of culture and community it is here in Huntsville. And that's the fine folks at the Chamber that really make you feel special and that really do care. There's not these groups of we're only going to help this person or help that person. No, it's let's figure out a way that we can help everybody and be part of something special.
And even when you were gone, we were still supporting you from afar.
Sure,
Man, I loved all the opportunities you got. I was so happy and so proud of you because I was like, yes, big time. This was it. This is what this is Rob's plan. This is what he's wanting to do. Now, I am very thankful to have you back. Don't get me wrong. But I do know that, it gets exciting as you step up that ladder. So I'm glad you had those experiences.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It's not about me. It's about just the good people here. And I appreciate your friendship, Garrick, because you truly were, one of the first that I connected with on the media side of things, which was great. And you and I became friends very quickly. But you've seen a lot of growth. You've seen a lot of great changes here in Huntsville. And I want you to talk a little bit more now about HLI and the class of 41, the great project you guys just wrapped up. Big party going on. And a lot of people are going to show up to that coming up. Let us know about that stage and how HLI was this year.
So first and foremost, Class 41 is the best class
I knew that was going to happen.
ever. There is no debate. There is no argument. There is nothing. We are especially better than 40. Just putting it out there. I will stand on that. I will stand on the hill. So, Class 41, best class ever. Exactly.
That's from Garrick, by the way. You know,
that was quoted.
This is like when you're watching the news and people say quotes and they flash them up on the screen. So this is a Garrick Long quote here, by the way.
So not only did we bring a new stage to Rather Park, we brought a new deck to the chamber. That's a funny one. We were taking our class picture the very first day we all met, and Laura gathered us all in the corner to get a group photo. And sure enough, as soon as she took the picture, we all dropped about 1.5 feet, 2 feet because the deck went out from underneath us. Boy, were we freaking. Like, we were like, is it going to go any further? You know, because it's right on that ravine, right on that creek. But
and this was the old deck, by the way. Just want to be clear because Clint Sandel has built a beautiful new deck. So, yeah, we want to make sure that we say it was the old deck.
No. Now the new deck is strong, sturdy. It has beautiful railing to it. It's going to last longer. It's awesome. So thank you, Clint Sandel, for that deck. But you're welcome that Class 41 got you a new deck as well.
All right. Well, I didn't know that. Well, I'm showing a picture here. We were able, and thanks to Melissa Barham.
Picture.
Yeah. So, and I put photo credit Melissa Barham, but because she sent me the photos.
No,
but it's actually
you can adjust that.
It's
please,
actually
sir.
photo credit Garrick Long.
Yes. Here, I'll pull it up on my phone to show you I'll give you the geotag and the date and time.
Well, walk us through this. I was thankful to be able to put an article here on HelloHuntsvilleTX.com just to describe what you guys did, and that's why I wanted to have you on this morning to go more in depth about the project. So, kind of walk us through this. How did it come to reality? I mean, what is the purpose of HLI doing community projects? That's a requirement.
It is a requirement. So we also we have volunteer hours we need to put in. We have City of Huntsville council meetings we have to go view. School board meetings we need to go view. So there's different parts of the community that we engage in as part of this leadership class. But this idea originally started back on our very first class session, which was the retreat. And so we had tons of different ideas that were voiced, and we ended up, I don't want to say settling, but it's just, this was the one that was obviously the biggest idea of them all, but it also felt like the best impact we could make on the community, because I don't think you have pictures of it, but the previous deck, that thing was barely 6 inches off the ground. It had been there for years. The wood on top was warping. And that deck gets used by everybody in our community for all kinds of different events downtown. Like, I know we have different dance companies that have danced there. We have different people sing on there, perform on there. So we wanted to improve it because it needed it drastically. If you want, I'll send you a picture of the previous one. It might take me a second to find it, but it was awful. But we were lucky enough to come together. We devised a plan to create this deck, and it was ambitious, very ambitious, because even our HLI council, like the people who have gone before us that oversee it now, they were worried, they were concerned, timeline, and I get that, but like we were determined to get this done.
How long did you have the project? I mean, from start to finish, kind of from the idea to the completion. There's a lot of stages you got to go through. I mean, of course, I'm sure the city had to get involved with some permitting type things.
Correct.
So walk us through, I mean, how long did that take from the idea and the concept to finishing the project?
I think August. September is when we originally came up with the idea.
So this moved pretty quick then.
Absolutely. And so we got approval for it in November from the council. They were like, okay, go. From there, we had a committee. I was over the finance portion of it. Justin Killingsworth from the Color Bar was over the building portion of it. And Melissa, she's over from Advantage Specialties. She's over the event portion of it.
She's over the photo credit taking.
A photo credit
That was my bad, by the way,
no,
Melissa. That was me. I wrote that on there.
I love Melissa, and she knows this. It's not a big deal. We're going to laugh and joke about it for the next year and a half. I will not let her live it down, but that's okay. But
do throw in the disclaimer that she wasn't the one. It was me because she sent the picture, so that's
correct.
why I'm the one that put it there, not her.
she could have been like, "Hey, Rob, I did it. It was actually Garrick who took the picture." So, but no. So we also first let me name off the different businesses around town that have helped us with this project.
Great.
So we have Tomorrow's Promise Montessori School, Walker County Federal Credit Union. We have Community Service Credit Union. We have Iron Brothers for the roof. They donated all the materials for it. And then we also have Lone Star Lights, but I'm blanking on the camp itself. Carolina Creek. Geez, I feel terrible. I'm trying to send my kids there this summer. Carolina Creek. So, okay, let me.
This is where you get yourself in a hole when you got to mention all the spots.
Listen, and this is the part I was over too. Like, I've known this from heart, like, because I had to sit in meetings and be like, okay, this is who's helping us with it. Okay, so I'm just going to do it on. So once again, Tomorrow's Promise, Community Service Credit Union, Walker County Federal Credit Union, Carolina Creek, Iron Brothers, and then Steely Lumber donated some wood for us. So if I have forgotten you, I deeply apologize, but I think I've got the list correct.
A lot to remember, a lot of great community support, and I love hearing that because, again, it talks about the engagement with the community and how many people get involved in these projects and are just a tremendous part of what makes Huntsville that unique fabric. I do have to ask you about this because
Talk to me.
This may blow up. I don't want to say it's going to backfire.
It's not going to backfire.
But there is a Huntsville Leadership Institute presents Hot Dog.
No.
Hot Dog. We need to get somebody. We need Steve Ricks back to say hot dog in his voice. Hot dog.
Some of our members are going to be in hot dog outfits. Don't worry.
Okay.
They will be there. There will be dancing hot dogs.
All right. Well, I don't know if I'd say that because now people may not come. But Hot Dog, we have a new stage.
Yes.
Now, here's the part that I'm getting at. Free food, yeah, that's great,
Right.
man. All right, live music, April 22nd, 11 to 3 in downtown Huntsville there at Rather Park. But the one thing that stands out that's going to, man, it's two words, free beer. I don't think I've ever seen an event where the big word free beer is on there. This may be the ultimate event in Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah, it might be. Really, so we're going to have live music on stage. So we want people to truly come out, hang out, have a good time because that's what it's supposed to be. Tap Truck will be dispensing for us. So we're going to be, that 57 Chevy they have.
That's Bonnie and her, and
yes.
Yeah, great folks.
Oh, they are excellent folks. But we'll have them dispensing for us. So they've got their license in check, so that way they'll be pouring responsibly. Because I know that might be a concern. But yeah, no, we're excited to put this on for people, and it's going to be great. And what's really cool is that the Main Street program for downtown Huntsville is actually having Junkapalooza that morning. Mm-hmm. So their event ends right as ours begins. So people that are already downtown for Junkapalooza could just walk on down, be with us. 11:30, we're doing the ribbon cutting ceremony for it. And then from there, it's just going to be fun.
I think it's going to be, when you think about April 20th, I think there's a lot of events going on that day because we'll have Junkapalooza that morning. You guys will be having this kickoff. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it's Huntsville Music Series, and then also Wisniewski's having their grand opening.
So that's later on.
It's later on.
Okay. So Huntsville Music Series, I don't know if it starts the next weekend or 2 weekends later.
But they're going to be utilizing that stage.
Sundance Head's going to be on that stage.
That's awesome.
How awesome is that? So when we decided to do the stage, it was for the community. It was so everyone could use it because people go there just to practice. People go there just to perform out in the open, just to get that off their shoulders, because people get nervous. They get stage fright and they use it to practice. And so we were just excited to do something, maybe not necessarily for a specific nonprofit, but just the entire Huntsville community.
Yeah,
and so we're happy for that.
Well, man, I got to shake your hand on that project. And this handshake is not just for Garrick, but it's all of HLI Class 41. You guys have done a phenomenal job recognizing a very serious need in this community, and it's going to help out with the art scene. This is a community that there is a lot of great cultural arts that are here in Huntsville. One thing that I didn't even realize, and, my previous time living here, I've been walking through the alleyways. There's a lot of murals and paintings and things around town that are just beautiful that you're kind of seeing in hidden alleyways. Mm-hmm. And there's a very huge art scene here And I'm looking forward to that continuing to grow as well. So a lot of great things, Garrick, happening. We're going to step aside. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, Laura Green will be joining us. We got a couple of chamber events that are coming up, and we want to get some updates from Laura as well. Stay with us. Again, let us know what you're thankful for this morning. A lot of folks already chiming in. We'll get to those messages as well. But we are here again live from Farmhouse Cafe here in beautiful Huntsville for the monthly chamber breakfast. Again, you can come on out 7:30, getting started, and for a small fee, you can be a part of this great breakfast that happens once a month. We'll be back in a minute. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Huntsville, sponsored today by our remote studio, Elliott's Jewelers. We'll be back in a moment. Hey, friends, welcome back in. We are live this morning from Farmhouse Furniture here on Good Morning Huntsville. Great opportunity today to continue to talk about all the great things happening at the Chamber. And, boy, the cameras move. Garrick's still here. He's on screen, but now joined by Miss Laura Green with the Chamber. Good to see you, Laura. Hey, first time coming on, I believe.
I know. I'm so excited.
Ray put you – I reached out to Ray last night, and I said, hey, Ray, can you hop on? Because he normally would in the past when I was here. And he goes, change of plans. Laura's going to be on this morning.
I love it. I love it.
So our membership coordinator – no, give me the full title because you're in charge of communications and events manager.
That's right.
Not membership.
Right.
Awesome. Well, how have things been? Good to see you.
Things have been very busy, but great.
There's a lot going on. You have been such an integral part of this chamber for so many years. And, you know, when I first came here, I remember sitting in your office talking to you about the chamber and just how much it means to me. And Garrick and I have already talked about that, how important of a resource it is. And, you know, again, just so welcoming. And that's what Huntsville's all about. You don't just see that in the community. You see it with local organizations such as the Chamber. I mean, what's the journey been like for you?
Oh, it has been incredible. I've been there almost 20 years, which is hard to believe. Started when I was, in high school. No, not really, but but I just think the Chamber is just a great resource, like you said, to help businesses grow. And we're all about supporting our members and growing our community. And I just think it's a wonderful place to start, especially when you're opening up a business.
Fun fact for you. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. That's why Garrick's here.
When I first came back to Huntsville in 2019, I was back at Sears. Laura came in to see me. She was like, Garrick, I'm so happy you're back. I'm so happy you're back. When are you joining the chamber? I was like,
Exactly.
oh, I don't know. I got to figure it out, this or that, whatever. But she was like, she has always been my biggest supporter, and I greatly appreciate
Well,
that of you.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
I'm persistent.
you are persistent, but it was
pleasantly
lovingly.
persistent.
Pleasantly.
Yeah.
That was an old sales. I was going through some sales training many years ago, and that was one thing I said: be pleasantly persistent. You
Yes.
know, and there's a way to be pleasantly persistent, but
Absolutely.
it is such a, and I love it, Laura, because when I see someone such as yourself and so many others like Garrick and folks that are involved on the board of directors and those that are on staff like you, just so passionate about what you do. It's not. Yeah, it's a job. You do it to make a living. You work, but it's more than that. It's a passion, and I can see that with
Right.
the folks that are involved with this chamber. One thing that I was talking to Garrick about earlier that I love what this chamber does so much is just the community involvement. In events like this, you always see people sitting with different people and the leaders of the chamber engaging with the members. And it doesn't matter if you just joined or you've been a member for 30 years, you're going to feel like you're somebody special at this chamber.
One thing about this is a lot of people don't like involved in the chamber. Come to our events as you can. We know you can't be at everything, but try to be as much as you can. Let people get to know you, because that's how people in this town especially like to do business with people they know.
Yeah.
That is huge in Huntsville. I've seen that. I've lived here since '91, and that is very true. You know, in a bigger town, it's not so important, but in a small town like Huntsville, you got to know people.
One
You really
thing
do.
that I heard over the years, and something I was taught in sales, and it's so true, and it really is people will do business with who they know,
Exactly.
who they like, and who they trust.
That's right.
And I always said, how do you get to know somebody? You show up. How do you get somebody to like you? Be yourself. Don't, do things that are right. And how do you get someone to trust you is do what you say you're going to do and be genuine. You do those things, know, like, and trust. You got a great opportunity. And Huntsville is one of those areas you have a great opportunity to be extremely successful if you do those three things. First of all, join the chamber.
Join the chamber and show up and be present, get involved. That's important. And, a lot of businesses, they don't have the opportunity to step out of their business because they're so busy, but they can send their employees too. It doesn't have to be the business owner every single time. Send your employees. Let them get out there, and people get to know them too, because they're a great voice for your business.
Again, this morning here on Good Morning Huntsville, we're broadcasting live, and thank you for being a part of this show here from Farmhouse Cafe. We are talking chamber today. It's all the great things happening here at the Small Business Breakfast. Laura Green, gracious enough to give us some of her time. You're busy at these events, tables set up, people are coming in, they're checking in. Two big events coming up that I absolutely wanted to highlight. The first one is Diva Night.
Yes.
Tell us about it. When's it happening?
It is one of my favorite events, obviously, because it's a ladies' event, of course. That is coming up on Friday, April 21st. So that's just next week, a week from tomorrow. It's at the Walker County Fairgrounds.
Already?
Yes. So get ready, Garrick. It is coming up next Friday, April 21st, at the Walker County Fairgrounds. It's from 5:30 to 8:30. And a lot of people ask, well, why would I buy a ticket to go shop? Well, there is a reason why you should buy a ticket. Tickets are very inexpensive, by the way, but you get the opportunity to see there's about 32 vendors that are going to be there. A lot of them don't have a storefront, so that is important. A lot of them will have specials only that night, and all your food and beverages. I know you were talking about some of that a while ago, but all your food and beverages at this event are free as well.
I was talking about sodas, Laura.
I know.
Coke Zero.
Well, the signature drink at Ladies, our Diva Night is going to be a pink margarita. So we will have sodas and water for those that don't want to partake of that, but we also have beer. We also have wine. And then we have about 20 restaurants every year that participate. So you cannot you can leave hungry, but that's your own fault.
Correct.
So there is so many great things to taste. And then we do door prizes that night. We're giving away over $500 in cash for people to use to spend that night. There's going to be some great baskets that we're going to give away. And then we're doing a raffle for a pink Brewmate cooler. It's a big one.
Oh, awesome.
And it's going to be filled with over $1,000 worth of items that we've gotten from some of our vendors. We purchased that from them. And then a 2-night stay at Margaritaville. And so that is going to be raffled off that night. There's a costume contest. There's just so much fun. And this year's theme is Let's Go Barbie. So take that however you want to.
I don't think Garrick and I will show up, though. We won't show up dressed as a Barbie.
I was asked
To be a waiter.
to be a waiter.
Not to
So
be a
what-
Barbie.
Not to be a Barbie. Hold on.
So
Let's
what
clarify.
So I knew which Ken I was going to be, though. I was going to be a firefighter Ken.
There you go.
Okay.
But I have my daughters that night.
That's right. And that's
so
important.
It is.
That's
so.
important.
Well, it's the
So,
13th annual Diva
13th
Night,
annual,
sponsored
yes.
by our good
It
friends.
is sponsored by McWilliams & Son Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. And then we have several sponsors. The raffle is sponsored by Advantage Specialties and Sam Houston Funeral Home. But there's so many other sponsors, and we could not do this event without them and without our vendors and our volunteers. Oh, my gosh. My ladies on my committee are working their tails off and to bring a really great, exceptional event for everybody. So get your tickets now because they cost more at the door.
And there's a lot of vendors here. I'm not going to read the full list because I don't want to leave anybody out, but
Oh,
you can
man.
find more on the website.
Figure out when you talk.
Colas, but
Well, it could be. a little pint full amount of drink that you want to have in there. It was slightly jealous, so
Yes.
it's awesome.
You can
Whoever
get
gets
those
it is going to love it.
You can get those. Yes, that's where we go.
Red.
I'm sure that.
Going to be a fun event. Again, you can go to and be a involved with Shot in the Dark.
Don't
You will
ever
get
say.
blown up.
I always have a blast.
Coming up just a month. We 9 holes. They come back. That is a lot of fun. And anybody, whether they're there, whether they're playing golf, $500 or $250, and then after that they tee off again for the second round of golf around dusk and play those 9 holes in the dark. We use glow accessories. It's really fun to. And that event is sponsored by Iron Brothers. We have already sold out, but here we can always use that. And also, like I said, to buy that golf ball for the golf ball drop.
Perfect. Well, it's a good opportunity. And you can get all that fun information and be a part of this great chamber. And one thing earlier when we were talking about, Laura, as people were coming in, and Garrick and I have been mentioning it, you did, just of how everybody just really enjoys Welcome back at it here. We are live from Farmhouse Cafe, about to wrap up here in just a few moments. And we apologize. I know that there were some internet issues there, unfortunately, and we'll make sure that that's fixed for the next time. Laura had a lot of great information to share. I'm not sure how much of that got out there. That's the joy of being remote. And, today, unfortunately, the internet connection that we had here just flaked out a little bit. But we'll make sure next time that that's up and running.
I can recap for you real quick.
Yeah, give us a quick recap, Garrick,
Okay.
on Shot in the Dark, and then also the information that she was talking about with Diva Night.
First event coming up is Diva Night. It's going to be next Friday, the 21st. It's a ladies only shopping event. You do have to purchase a ticket. It's inexpensive. The ticket grants you access to the event to be able to shop at vendors who you may not have access to before, but they'll also have special sales that night. On top of, there will be close to 20 different food vendors there, sampling all kinds of excellent appetizers for you and small bites, on top of tons of drinks, sodas, beer, wine, and the signature drink is a pink margarita, and Tap Truck will be serving. And then Shot in the Dark is a month after that. That is May 19th. And so you play 9 holes during the day, 9 holes at night. It is an awesome event. Unfortunately, all the teams are already paid for and bought, so you can't get into play, but you can still volunteer. Plus, we have a helicopter golf ball drop sponsored by Bill Fick Ford.
And you are not the pilot, by the way, of
No,
the helicopter.
dude, I would love to do that. Listen, I played enough video games. I think I could figure it out. That's a joke. But I do love my drone. I wonder if I could if I had a strong enough drone to fly up a bucket of golf balls in the air and drop it.
Good
but
idea.
no, but this
Be
helicopter,
cheaper, probably.
It probably would. But this helicopter hovers about 30 feet above the green to drop these golf balls. It's an awesome event to watch. So, but you can still buy golf balls. You can buy them at the chamber, and that way you do not have to be present to win some of those. So, definitely awesome events. And then for HLI, our event for christening the stage is the day after Diva Night. Diva Night is Friday night.
Christening of the stage. Okay.
Christening of the stage, and our event is the next day, Saturday the 22nd, starting at 11 with a ribbon cutting at 11:30.
Awesome. Well, there you go. chamber.huntsville.tx.us. Again, if some of that interview with Laura cut out, we apologize, but we'll make sure that we chat with her again to get more information out there. We've still got some time. But visit the website, chamber, again, .huntsville.tx.us to stay up to date with all information. Garrick, we got to wrap up here in just a few moments. Before we do, I always like to end the show with a little bit of inspiration. We've talked a lot about this community and how great folks are here, how everybody lifts each other up. What have you enjoyed most just about being in Huntsville, my friend?
So, what I love the most about Huntsville is that we have everything that a big town could possibly need. Like, we have an H-E-B,
Except a Kohl's. I need a Kohl's.
That
It's
doesn't
coming.
bother me.
It's coming one day.
Listen, I've got my H-E-B, I've got my academy, but at the same time, it's a small town feel. Like,
yeah, it is.
I know 90% of the people in this town, and I know I can call them up if I ever needed something, if I needed help. Like, say, for example, remember when you moved back and it was out of the blue and you're like, hey, I need help unloading? Boy, didn't you have like 10 different people there helping you?
Yeah.
And these are people that hadn't seen you in a year.
I mean, one family alone, by the way, my good friend Jason Thompson.
Yes.
Man, those folks, the Thompson families helped me move 5 times. I said, I am done moving, guys. And they volunteer. And I told them, I was like, man, I didn't want to call you guys. They're like, Rob, we already told you. We'll always be there to help you. I was like, yeah, but 5 times is a bit much, guys. But they did.
Right. No, and they are excellent people, and I love their gun range. But it just – that's what Huntsville provides. It's that sense of community and down-home feeling, but you still have it large enough to where you're not having to drive out of town to get the amenities that you need. We are creating our own ecosystem here, and I love it.
I want to tell you this morning, maybe you're waking up today or you're listening to this on a replay and you woke up today hurting and you've lost somebody. Things have been tough in your life. I want you to know that especially if you're in a community like this, you can embrace somebody, reach out. I mean, you can even reach out to your local chamber. There's been things that I've went through in life where I've reached out to friends in the business community. Now, of course, you don't want to air everything out to everybody, but there are close friends that you can always talk to. And I want to encourage you this morning, if you're going through that, just to be mindful. Get on the phone, call somebody. There's always somebody out there that wants to help you. And maybe if your business, look, I want to say this. Maybe your business right now, things have been tough. Reach out to the chamber. Ask them, hey, what resources do you have? Things have been slow at my business. Who can you connect me with to help me? Small Business Development Center, so many others that can help you.
Well, because I've worked with them with my business, and I know plenty of people have here, and their services are free.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to go in, schedule the appointment, and talk to them, and they will do anything and everything they can within their power to help you.
Garrick,
Absolutely.
Been a fun one. I know just a couple little glitches, but we'll be back in the studio, sponsored by Elliott's Jewelers tomorrow. But again, thankful to the Chamber of Commerce here, the Huntsville-Walker County Chamber of Commerce. Become a member, learn more. You can visit them online. I'll put that website up there one last time and get involved in your local chamber because it truly does make a difference.
Absolutely.
Garrick, you know what I love about Huntsville too, man?
What?
I can sit right next to you and say, love you, buddy.
I love you too, man.
Good people, and it's always a lot of fun. Be a part of it, and continue to share the good news about Hello Huntsville as well. We're promoting all things good, working on an events calendar that'll be up soon. Also, a lot of guides happening. Maybe you want to know, where do I take the kids swimming this summer? We're going to put guides together. I know you know about many local parks, but we're going to have all that listed, summer activities, summer camps, everything. You'll be able to find that information on our website at hellohuntsvilletx.com. Friends, as I end every broadcast, I want to remind you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Good morning, Huntsville. God bless. We'll see you bright and early back at it tomorrow at 7 a.m. And I have my good friends Rick and Kay joining us from Tomorrow's Promise.
Listen, they are a hoot.
It's going to be fun. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, everyone.